Hello and welcome back to the C tutorials. I hope you have done the problem which I gave you in the last class. We'll see a solution which I have. So this is my solution. I have used while loop and if statement. So this here means that I am running while loop without any condition. So this would be an infinite loop. It will stop only when this break statement gets executed. So this while loop is an infinite loop. I've declared two variables, a number variable which is which stores the input, and sum variable which is equated to 0, which calculates the sum. I made it 0 because look at this statement here. So I'm getting the number and adding it to the sum one by one. If my first number is 2, I'll add it to the sum. So if I have not defined it as 0, the value stored in some variable would be garbage value. So note this point that without defining a variable, if you access it, the value produced will be garbage value. A garbage value will be stored to a variable which is not defined. So I've defined the variable sum to 0. So I am adding the input number to it. So it gets added one by one until the number entered by the user is 1. So if the number entered by the user is 1, the control will jump to else statement. So you can see that I have bounded else statement with brackets. So if you have one or more statements within if or else, it's better that you bound it with brackets. So when the user enters 1, the else statement gets executed and it prints a message and breaks out of the while loop. So this is what my program does. After the control is brought out of the while loop, the sum is printed. So let's take the answer. So I'm running it. I've already compiled it. Enter the number. So I'm entering 4, 5, and I'm entering 1 here. So it's saying, oops, you entered 1 and the sum is 9. So that's how the program should have run in your compiler too. So I hope everyone must have done it. So we'll move on now. So in today's class we are going to see about for loop. In last class we saw about while loop and do while loop, and today's class we are going to see about for loop. So let's continue. So this is the clear command which clears your terminal in Linux. So please make note of it. It clears your terminal. So now we are going to see about for loop. We are going to do another problem. So we are going to write a code today for demonstrating the use of for loop. So let's get started. I'm going to create a file for.c. So I've already typed in the 4 lines. So in our program, we are going to display the tables of 2 from 1 to 10. So let us have two variables, one variable which is equal to 2 and other variables to store the result. So before writing the for loop structure, let's have the while loop structure to do comparison. So in your while loop structure, before your while loop starts, you have your initialization area up the while loop. So at the while loop line, you have your condition, and here you have your statements, and in this line you have your increment. So this is how your while loop looks like. If you remember, I would have written a line printf in this stats line. I've decremented the value of a down here. So you can have increment or decrement here, anything you wish. I would have decremented the value of a down here. So in your for loop, your increment or decrement statement, your condition statement, and also initialization statement are brought to same line. So your for loop syntax somewhat looks like this. Initialization up here, and your conditions come down here, and your increment or decrement comes here, and your stats are here. So this is how your for loop looks like. So in for loop, we must have a loop counter that keeps track of how many times the for loop is being executed. So it should be a variable. So I'm having a variable I to as a loop counter that keeps track of how many times the for loop has been run. So initially, I'm setting it to 1, and our condition should be less than 10 because we have to generate the table from 1 to 10. So it should run from 1 to 10 times. I should increment the value of I once at each step. So this is how our for loop looks like, and let's change the statement. I've already told you that we are going to save the result in B. Our LHS value will be B, and our RHS value will somewhat look like this. At each step, the value of a, that is 2, is going to be multiplied with value of I, and the product is going to get stored in B. So this is how our for loop will look like. So I'll tell you how the for loop works. First, the value of I will be initialized to 1, and the condition will be checked whether it is less than 10. So yes, I is less than 10. It will enter into the for loop, and the product operation of a and I will be performed. So the value of a is 2 now, and value of I is 1. So product of 2 and 1 is 2, and it is being copied to B. So now the value of I is incremented. So the value of I is now 2, and the condition is checked. So it enters into the for loop, and now the value of A is 2 and the value of I is also 2. So 2 into 2 is 4. So the value of 4 is being copied to B. So the increment and condition check operation is done until the condition evaluates false. So this is how the for loop works. So we'll print the value of B at each step. So we'll so for more better understanding, we'll also print the value of A and I. So percentage %d into percentage %d will give percentage %d. So A into I will give you B. So this is how your output will be. For better look, we'll give new line. So this is our program. For avoiding the warning, we'll make the return type of main as void. So we'll compile it. So name of my program is for. So I'll run it. So there you go. Your tables has been generated. It's generated till 9, as you can see, because I've given the condition less than 10. So if I make it equal to 10, your answer will be correct. So I'll do it again. So now you have your answer. So that's it about for loop. So I hope you understood what I taught you today. So please do watch the video again if you didn't understand. And if you have any questions or queries based on my teaching, you can feel free to ask them in your comment sections. Please make note of the problem which I am giving today. Today's problem is that you're going to find factorial of a number using for loop. So this is a simple program, so it will be helpful for you if you work out all the problems I give you. And that's the question for today. So if you like my teaching, please do give a thumbs up. If you want more videos, please do subscribe to our channel. It will be more helpful to us. And please do continue watching our videos for more fun C classes. Thank you all.